There are some people in this world who somehow manage to baffle the mind and send us all into deep thought as to how they can simply exist in the same world and yet be so incredibly and bizarre, bewitch and inspire you. Genes and the way they malfunction make some people look even more unique. Some people try to keep up with the norm, while others simply embrace their appearance. So who are these people? Here are top 10 amazing and incredible people around the world, odd and unusual people. Before we begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button to get notified every day for more amazing content. Artist carves tree leaves. A Kazakhstan-based artist Kanat Nurtazin describes his leaf-cutting art as a way of giving tree leaves a second life in which they can tell a new story through his intricate designs. 4 years ago, Kanat Nurtazin embarked on an project he named 100 Methods of Drawing, for which he experimented with various ways of expressing his artistic talent. It was through this project that he discovered leaf cutting, which became one of his favorite techniques. He likes the ephemeral nature of tree leaves, the fact that, much like human lives, they are perishable, but also that he can breathe new life into them as a medium to share stories with his audience. The Kazakh artist starts by searching for intact tree leaves suitable for his designs. He then glues them onto pieces of thick paper to make them sturdier and more durable, draws his designs on the paper, and uses a razor to cut the leaf. But his work isn't complete until he finds a suitable backdrop for each of his cut leaves to help him tell his story. Real-life Iron Man. Richard Browning has been compared with Iron Man superhero Tony Stark. Others might think he is stark raving mad by attaching miniature jet engines to various parts of his body. Mr. Browning is able to achieve man's dream of flying like a bird most of the time. At the opening of Dubai's GISC Security and Technology Conference on Tuesday, he soared around 5 meters in the air across a car park, landing successfully in a cloud of dust and at a near-splitting 108 decibels, about the same as being in the front row of Motorhead concert. In the quest to develop his Daedalus suit, named after the father of Icarus who didn't die after taking to the air in Greek mythology, he has more than occasionally come down to earth with a bump. For his world record attempt last November, for the fastest speed in a body-controlled jet engine-powered suit, Browning sensibly chose an artificial lake for the course. After reaching a world record speed of 51.53 km per hour over 100 meters on his third and final attempt, the video shows him plunging into the water in a cloud of smoke and steam, emerging with a broad grin and an inflated life jacket. The suit is made up of 6 macro gas turbines, each capable of 22 kilograms of thrust, or 1000 horsepower. Fatima Timbo. A 4-foot woman with dwarfism has overcome cruel bullies to carve out a budding career as an Instagram model. Finance trainee Fatima Timbo, 22-year-old from London, was born with achondroplasia, a bone growth condition that causes people to be short in stature with a regular-sized torso and short limbs. After being bullied throughout high school, Fatima learned to embrace her condition and started modeling in 2017. But despite with her newfound confidence and appearing on dating show The Undateables, Fatima admits it's hard to find a genuine man and has to fend off men with dwarf fetishes. But Fatima is still remaining positive in her search for the perfect man, and even tried hit show The Undateables despite initially rejecting the idea when she was spotted. But Fatima has had to develop a thick skin to gain the confidence she has today, battling cruel comments from bullies as she grew up. People always react when they see me by laughing, pointing, or some people just give me a disgusted look sometimes. And growing up as the only person in her family suffering from the condition made it harder for Fatima. However, she learned to be resilient from a young age, throwing her energy into performing to help build her confidence. And as well as her success as a model, Fatima hopes she can make a difference to others with her condition. A grandmother rejoined school. For generations, women have had to make sacrifices when it came to education. While most girls weren't given a chance to read and to write, the ones who did mostly didn't continue and get the opportunity to earn a degree. Times have advanced for us now. A lot of women have an array of prospects in front of them. But if we were to ask our grandmothers, most of them would reason that either they got married early or dropped out of schools to help in housework, which eventually led them to cut off from education. And now, she has taken to the classroom desk and chair again at primary school for adults of Labrador, and has not missed a day since. But now she has learned reading and writing afresh, and makes it a point to remember everything she learns. A lot of us regret not having learned something we always wanted to. We feel too old to start over, to learn that new instrument, a dance form, to ride a bike, etc. But here, we have a living example telling us that age is just a number. Miss Sunshine. What started as a creative way to honor her late father turned into an obsession for Ella London, a 35-year-old woman from Los Angeles who has been wearing and surrounding herself with everything yellow for the last 7 years. Ella has always loved the color yellow, but it only became an important part of her life 11 years ago. She and her fiancé were organizing their upcoming wedding and trying to find a color theme for the event. London knew that she didn't want the classic white. Red made her think of Christmas, and all the other colors she considered were way too overused. But when her fiancé suggested yellow, something in her brain clicked. It reminded her of her father, who had passed away when she was only 2 months old, of his love for the color yellow, and how it seemed to perfectly reflect his happy nature. She picked it as a way to honor her late father, but the wedding was only the beginning of her love affair with the color yellow. The 35-year-old marketing professional never planned to become a one-color person. It just sort of happened naturally. Over the 4 years after her wedding, yellow just started appearing more and more in various areas of her life. She first received a yellow cardigan as a gift, which she now describes as the catalyst to her adopting a yellow wardrobe, and she started replacing things that broke around the house with yellow versions of those items. Ella London is now known as Miss Sunshine or the Yellow Lady, and she certainly lives up to those nicknames. Sarah Todd Hammer. Sarah Todd Hammer, from Atlanta, was just 8 years old when she developed acute flaccid myelitis, a rare neurological condition which left her unable to move her arms and hands. Acute flaccid myelitis is a polio-like illness that is caused by a virus attacking the spinal cord. It is most commonly developed during childhood and can trigger a rapid onset of weakness in the muscles, particularly affecting the arms and legs. Sarah Todd was first taken into hospital when she was 8 years old after complaining that she was experiencing a painful headache during her ballet class. But by the time she was taken to the emergency room, she was paralyzed from the neck down. Despite eventually regaining control of her legs through physical therapy and a plasma exchange, Sarah Todd still has severe muscle weakness in her arms and hands, and she has trouble using them. This affects the way that she completes even the simplest of tasks, including getting dressed, showering and tying her hair. At just 11 years old, Sarah Todd published her first autobiographical book "5K, Ballet and a Spinal Cord Injury," and has published another 2 books since. She also continues to dance and choreographs moves to adapt to her disability. Pataruni Ghosh. A 65-year-old woman from a village in India's West Bengal has allegedly spent every day for the past 2 decades submerged up to her neck in the waters of a nearby lake due to an unknown disease. Every morning, she gets up before sunrise and walks into a nearby lake where she remains submerged up to her neck until the sun sets. She has been doing this religiously since 1998, when she started suffering from a mysterious condition that left her body inflamed and sore. The only thing that seemed to relieve the woman's pain was water, so she started spending her days in a lake close to her village, and she's been doing it for over 2 decades now. Pataruni Ghosh reportedly spends between 12 and 14 hours in the lake every day, as she and her family live in a remote area of West Bengal and are too poor to go to a hospital for treatment. At sunset she rises from the water and goes home, where she does whatever work she can before going to sleep. The Indian mermaid reportedly eats only a bit of rice and some vegetables all day, as her condition and sedentary lifestyle have affected her appetite. Her relatives usually take her meal to the lake, and she eats in the water to protect her skin from the sun. The superstitious people of Pataruni's village believe that she will one day become the spirit of the lake after spending so much time in it, but her family hopes that they will be able to one day take her to a doctor and cure her of the mysterious disease. Before we begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button to get notified every day for more amazing content. With this being said, let's begin.